Jumping again, welcome to the AI software engineering course. You're going to be looking at um, the question on map your mindset. Um, Here we ask uh, to illustrate a flowchart that we calculate the running sum. The flowchart allow a user we enter in flowchart. The user will enter numbers that will be added to the sum, and when the negative number is encountered, um, the process stop adding numbers and write out the final result. Before I can deep dive into this kind of problem, we need to understand the basis of flowchart, what flowchart actually does. A flowchart is a visual representation of data flow. Flowcharts are useful in writing a program or algorithm and explaining it to others or collaborating with them on it. You can use an algorithm flowchart to spell out the logic behind the program before ever starting to code automated process. Flowchart in this context is a diagrammatical representation of an algorithm. What is an algorithm? Algorithm is a step-by-step process to accomplish a task or is a sequential process to solve a problem. You can have, for example, in a production company where you have production activities being carried out in stages. So you can say the production stages are logical in order which one lead to the other. So this what actually algorithm actually depicts this what actually algorithm means. And we use flowchart to visualize algorithm of any problem. Now, what is pseudocode? Pseudocode in computer science. Pseudocode is a plain language description of the steps in algorithm or another system. Pseudocode often uses structural conventions of a normal programming language, but is intended for human reading rather than machine reading. Not necessarily mean you must write some syntax or machine learning languages. Machine learning language to solve to illustrate a pseudocode with a plain language which any man one can understand is enough to explain what pseudocode does. So pseudocode itself can be used to describe the steps that's involved in an algorithm. So when you want to write a program for distance, you have to tell us how the system works, how the program. So use pseudocode to illustrate how this process is being carried out. Then when we're looking at the question majorly, we're going to be looking at how this pseudocode is being represented. Now we're looking at the question that the pseudocode that will calculate a running sum. The user will enter numbers that will be added to the sum, and when the negative number is encountered, you stop adding new numbers and write out the final results. First of all, the user has to read a value from the program have to use read a value from the user. You read a value of x, a value of x, an integer value of x, an integer value, and store it in x. Um, then you set sum to zero, initialize sum to zero. That means um, giving us x an assignment x use an assignment operator, assigning sum to zero. That means automatically sum will take the value of zero. That means we have setting sum to take the value of zero, which means sum becomes a constant. Here, the next step, the third step, we're going to look at the conditional statement. Now, what while loop does here is tell us that if a condition is met, do this. If not, don't do that. So that means if x that you've read from the user, if the value of x you've read from the user, you use to compare whether it's equal to zero, which you are initialized to sum initially. When you compare, it's either is equal or greater than zero. Sorry. So when you compare, you see that you can see that x if x is equal yx is equal or greater than zero, set sum to x plus sum. That means if this is true, if this is true, then go ahead and add x to sum, then store the value in sum. Then print the value of x plus sum, you print it out on screen. So that means if the condition is not met, then stop, stop the process. So this is what actually the pseudocode is really talking about. Then let's look at the flowchart to represent that we just explained. As the flowchart, we kind of say we start the program here. Now we initialize x to we accept value, integer value here. The int here insert integer input allow us to accept value, integer value, and we store it in x. Then we assign, we initialize x to 0. That means we using assignment operator to assign 0 to sum, so sum become a constant. Here we say y, here we say um y x is equal or greater than 0. If it's true, then the x we're talking about is the x that you imputed here, that the user imputed. The value of x now will compare it against 0. If it's equal or greater than 0, go ahead and add the value of sum, which is 0, to the value of x, which is this that we imputed. Then store the values and sum. Then go ahead and print sum. Then end the program. But if then stop, if the condition is not met, come here now and print the final result. So this all for that. Happy learning. So please subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.